Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss a very important topic, that is mastering interview skills. This training series, will be very useful for the young engineers who are transforming who are basically moving to the professional side from university, as well as seasoned professionals can also benefit from from these videos. So, what is an interview? An interview basically it's your interaction with the employer, that you are applying for a job, and that the employer is now has a pool of applicants, and the employer has to select certain people who can achieve the goal of the organization. The most important thing, the three things which I'm in advance telling you, is that the three things which they want most from someone who they can hire. Number one is the technical skills, that the person should have technical skills. Number two is the adaptability, that is the ability to adopt in the culture of the organization. And the third one is the motivation level of the person who is applying for the job. So these three things, if you got green signals on all three these checks, you will there is guarantee, or 100% guarantee, that you will be able to get the job. So you should also note that what type of the interview is going to be. Is it a technical interview, or is it an HR interview, group interview, telephonic interview, panel interview? There are certain guidelines for each type of the interview, and what you have to prepare for each interview, and what you should wear. And there are difficult interview questions which you must prepare how to answer. And there are worst case scenarios, and there are ways to reduce a dying interview and then follow up. Uh, so this is your target job. What you need is, you need relevant skills, and you have an organized job search, and then you have to prepare for the interview. Preparation is very important, and then the positive attitude, that your attitude should be such that you are going to interview not just for the interview, you are going there to get the job. So your resume has put you at the first stage. Now it's your chance to do yourself a favor. You have to prove yourself. Your CV was good enough. You got a position there for the interview. Now at the interview, you have to prove that you are the best candidate among all the candidates they have interviewed so far. You have to show them that. So land to the position you are looking for. So what is an interview? As I said, it's an interaction between the employer and the potential applicant for the selection and for the job. What can the process create? This is a two-way process. There is an argumentative issue in it. Um, Gather and clarify information. The most important stage of the job search is the interview stage. And what can the process create? Simply a decision to be hired or not, that the person to be hired or not. Having decisions are real on emotion and justified with the logic. If you like things first and then justifies it, get the employer to like you. So you have basically, something would be, you have to impress the person, you have to impress the panel, that you are the right fit, you would be the right fit for the job. You have the technical skills, you can fit in the culture, and you have the motivation. Again, these three things. So you should first analyze that, can you sell or market yourself? That you in an interview, you are doing basically marketing yourself. You are a product and you are marketing yourself. Now, can you impress? It's not just answering questions. So interview is not just answering their questions. As I said, you have to impress them, and there are many other things like verbal, non-verbal, pressing, and the way to answer their questions, how you answer their questions. Um, it's a little bit complex thing. Suppose you are a product, know your SWOT. SWOT analysis is basically strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. This is a very important ability, This analysis is very much important. I would suggest you to go through separately through this SWOT analysis. That what are the strengths, what skills you possess to achieve your goal, and what are the weaknesses, that what potential weaknesses you have that can hamper you to reach your goals, and what are the opportunities uh, you should do to achieve your goal, and what are the threats, potential threats that can sabotage your goal. So you should first go through the SWOT analysis and know your the customer's needs, what they require, what your employer wants, or what your interviewer wants. You should know their needs, and you should demonstrate that you can satisfy. So you have to prepare. This is a big day, and you need to follow up. Once you have the interview secured, don't walk in without keys. Preparation is the key. So you have to prepare for it. So you have to first think about what would be the schedule. You have to reach there at least half an hour before the interview. You must have to reach there before your schedule, at least half an hour, and you should in advance prevent that what would be the environment of that interview. So there are certain types. These are certain types of interviewing: telephonic screening, second or third interview, head hunting, one-to-one interview, group interviews, panel interviews, free form, unstructured, psychometrics, and presentations. Two or three interviews ask set of questions for every candidate. In a panel interview, the atmosphere can be formal. This is a free-form interview, loosely framed. Few topics could be away from normal working hours, unstructured, informal, and can be perceived as a chat. It can be difficult to sell yourself without being prompted by relevant questions. So, in presentation, if you have to give some certain presentation, you have to prepare well and you have to practice it. Psychometric, in this type of interview, you will be asked a series of questions to discover your self-observation, that your self-awareness and your reactions, and how do you react to the certain questions being asked. Psychometric tests are becoming popular for mainly sporting role. So why can you do the job? These are a list of certain questions you have to prepare. That why can you do the job? How can you do the job? Situational questioning, behavioral questioning. What's your greatest weakness? Similarly, there is a question that tell me about yourself. That is the first question which is normally asked. So you have to prepare well for that question. Tell me about yourself. Then what are your greatest strengths? What are your greatest weaknesses? And what is your vision? Where do you see yourself after two years, after 5 years? Why do you want to come in our company? Why are you leaving your current job? So you have to prepare the answers for these potential questions in advance, so that you should be able to answer comfortably there, and your answers should be convincing enough. And what's your greater weakness? So this is a very tricky question. For this question, you must I won't recommend you. Some people use strength as their weaknesses, so don't do that. Just tell a genuine weakness, and what have you done for it and how you have overcome it. But don't disclose so much weaknesses that they may go against you. This is a very tricky question. Why you change your job so frequently if there is so much frequent switching? What is your biggest mistake in your career? And how would your supervisor friends describe you? Tell me a story, tell me a joke. How can you offer that others don't? What is your major accomplishments? So this is a small set of questions. There is a big set of questions I will present to you that you should prepare in advance, so that there are 90% chances that these type of questions will be asked to you. So you should be able to answer them. There are situational questioning. There is situational, you might be asked how you would cope in a hypothetical situation. There is a behavioral questioning. You may be asked about your behavior reaction to a certain situation. You may also be asked that is there would be there would be if there would be a crisis situation, what would you do, or if there anything crisis situation happened in your career, then what did you do to cope it. So general information about the position, these are the expectations from you. That you should be knowing the general information about the position. Articulate, you should be able to articulate your qualifications and interests, and you should understand the nature of the organization. And your technical skills should match the job, and your personality should match the job. So prepare your matching set. Excellent personal skills. Have you the right one? So they are basically doing this. Find the right one. The person should be having excellent interpersonal skills. I mean, in the experience of handling management accounts, and should be able to work in team. That he should work. He should be able to work in team, and thus he possess leadership ability. If such skills are required for the job. So teamwork, are we more comfortably working as a part of a team or individually? So that is also a very important part. You have to give examples, you have to prepare well for this question, that you are able to work in a team, you are working with the team, and you know what are the norms to work in a team. And to be honest, if you are a person who would rather work alone, please say it. So this is a recommendation that if you are a loner, but again I would say um, teamwork is very important skill, so you need to develop this skill. This skill. What is the job necessitates? If you have not started, you may have shock of being one of the team and you may hate your job. So again, this is where we have the SWOT analysis. Try to think about how you have used your strongest skills, keep all your achievements at your fingertips. State the skill and example. So this is a very important point. You should be having a complete example of what skill you are stating. If you say something without example, that would be weak. So if for any example you give there that you are good in certain skill, you should back it with the records and examples. State a skill and show how you use it, and don't just say, show it, prove it. And weaknesses, be ready to explain any inconsistency breaks in your career, think of building environment transferable skills. Professional business wear is a must. Dress code is very important. You have to dress professionally, and you have to wear what is the dress code expected. It is a part of the first impression taken about the candidate. There is no perfect dressing, but practice like which suits you. Dress appropriate to the organization. Comfortable clothes show you have made effort. Shows that you are serious about the job. So if your dressing shows that you should be you are serious about the job. And you should not say that it may distract the interviewer, or it should not be so bright of bright colors. So what should you know about the organization, its potential advancements, atmosphere, benefits, bonuses, dress code, ethnics, honors, and all this list, company history. So for every job, for every organization that you are going to give the interview, you should have
Hello everyone. Now we will discuss interview skills. Purpose of an interview: from employer's perspective, gathering the information about the candidate to determine his or her suitability for the job. Ideally, the theme is right person for the right job at the right time. And from your perspective, it would be providing information to the interviewers so they can make their decision preferably in your favor. You have to market yourself and you have to present yourself that you are the person what they are looking for, to make their decision of hiring you easy. Interviewers are in charge of the structure of the interview and how they will gather the information they need. However, interviewees are in charge of preparation and how they come across during the interview. So you have to present such that you have to present yourself such that what they need, you have all the skills, and your other personality traits what they are looking for. So this is a very good slide. So here the two decisions are hired and not hired. For hired, they might be looking, interviewers might be looking for qualification, strengths, experience, skills, competency. These are the logical reasons for hiring you. And there may be emotional reasons for hiring you, which involves cultural match, which is the most important, and the motivation. As I said earlier in my previous video that three things are important. Number one, skills. Number two, motivation. Number three is the cultural match, that you can fit in the culture, how the work is done in the organization. The other parts are confidence, very important element, friendliness, very important element, and another is trustworthiness, that these things you must demonstrate that you possess these qualities so that your chances of getting hired increase. Once you master these skills, there are chances that you will be hired. However, the other chances why you are not hired, the other reasons could be there are other candidates that are better than you, that are more suitable than you, or there are gaps in your CV which don't reflect the things they actually need, and any other reasons which is not mentioned here. Now, types of interviews, there are two types of interviews, structured interview and the other one is unstructured interview. Structured interview increases consistency across the candidates. It enhances job relatedness, it reduces overall subjectivity, it enhances the ability to withstand legal challenge. However, in an unstructured interview, it allows the interviewer to ask follow-up questions and pursue point of interest as they develop. This type of interview can be described as little more than a general conversation. Interview content, types of questions, there can be these four types of questions: situational interview, behavioral interview, job related interview, and stress interview. For situational interview, in a situational interview you ask the candidate what his or her behavior would be in a given situation. That is you give some situation to him and see his behavior, that how he reacts to that situation. Behavior based interview, the focus of this interview is on your specific accomplishments and experiences and less on your thoughts about how you might handle such a situation. The key to successfully answering behavior based interview questions is to understand how the interviewer has been trained to hear the answers. Job related interview, a series of job related questions that focus on relevant past job related behaviors. The aim is to draw a conclusion about candidates' ability to handle particular aspects of the job to be filled. Final one is stress interview. The interviewer seeks to make the applicant uncomfortable with occasionally rude questions. The aim is to spot sensitive applicants and those with the low or high stress tolerance. If the job is some kind of like stress involved, then the stress interview questions can be asked by the interviewer deliberately. Various ways of conducting the interview: one-to-one interview, two people meet alone and one interviews the other by seeking oral responses to oral inquiries. The other one is sequential interview. Several persons interview the applicant in sequence, one-on-one, before a decision is made. Unstructured sequential, each interview may ask different questions. Structured sequential, each interview rates the candidates on a standard evaluation form using standardized questions. Then there is panel interview, an interview in which a group of interviewers questions the applicant. Then structured panel, more reliable and valid than unstructured ones. Then comes the mass interview, interviews several candidates simultaneously. Phone and video, these interviews can be more accurate than face-to-face for judging an applicant's conscientiousness, intelligence and interpersonal skills. So this is observed from the research. Here both parties can solely focus on the substantive answers. Computerized interview, in such type of interview, computerized responses are obtained to computerized questions or situations. Are interviews useful? Interview is a better predictor of performance and is comparable with the other selection techniques. For an effective interview, Structure the interview for reliability. Be careful what sorts of traits you are trying to assess. Keep in mind various factors that can undermine interviews' usefulness. Thank you very much. Hello guys, now we will discuss very important points regarding interview, effective interview. For an effective interview, one must know how to interview. So these are the tips for the interviewer. There are certain factors that ruin the usefulness of interviews. Interview errors, interviewer behavior, non-verbal behavior, impression management, effect of personal characteristics, candidate order, misunderstanding the job, and snap judgment. These are basically some key points which are given due importance from interviewer point of view. We will see them one by one. Snap judgment. Interviewers tend to jump to conclusions about candidates during the first few minutes of the interview. So that's also saying that interviewer panel normally judges a person within the first 30 seconds. Most of the time this is true, but this is not, in my opinion, it's not appropriate. The interviewer should consider all the aspects of the interview to make a decision regarding the interview. The other point is misunderstanding the job. Interviewers who don't have an accurate picture of what the job entails and what sort of candidate is best suited for it usually make their decisions based on incorrect impressions. So the person's personality and his physique should match the job. Candidate order, contrast error. The order in which the interviewer sees applicants affect how they rate them. Non-verbal behavior. Interviewers draw inferences about the applicant's personality based on applicant's behavior during the interview. Impression management. Getting others to see us in a certain manner. Here candidates attempt to control or manipulate the reactions of interviewers to images of themselves or their ideas. Effect of personal characteristics. Interviewers tend to distort their assessment when they focus on their attractiveness and gender. Interviewer behavior. Interviewers' behavior affects the interviewee's performance and rating. Some interviewers talk so much that applicants have no time to answer questions, while some let the applicant dominate, etc. Snap judgment. It is a saying that don't judge a book by its cover. So judging a person from his face would be incorrect choice, would lead to incorrect choice. Non-verbal behavior. Effect of personal characteristics like experience, education, skills, and coolness. Misunderstanding the job. When the interviewer does not know what type of the person is best suited for the job. So now we will discuss the guidelines for the interviews. Preparation is essential, that one has to prepare well for the interview. So the most important things are learn about the employer, go to their website, learn about them, what are their recent projects, for what purpose the job has been opened for which you are applying. You should know the reason, and you should know about the employer a lot. Also you can talk to someone who is already employed in that company. He can give you better information, and moreover from negotiation point of view and for getting a certain position, a certain rank, you should definitely talk to someone who is already employed, who can guide you how to negotiate well and get better salary and better position in the company according to your experience and qualification. Further, you should learn about the job for which you are applying, the job description and the job responsibilities which have been stated in the advertisement, and about the people, that what type of people are there, is there diversity there, or is there a common type of people there, or one group of people there. And the other thing is competition. and the employer's problems, that what are his normally problems. Uncover the interviewer's real needs. There is a funny saying that I didn't get the job. Apparently, they are looking for an accountant with no personality. So, determine what type of the person the employer is looking for. Another important point is relate yourself to the interviewer's needs. For this job, we need someone who is responsible. And the lady says that I'm the one you want. On my last job, every time something went wrong, they said I was responsible. So that's a funny thing. Think before answering. Emphasize how hiring will help the interviewer solve his or her problem. Just imagine you are on the 8th floor, it caught fire, how will you escape? Now the candidate replies, it's very simple, I will stop my imagination. So do not make so much humor with the interview, that's very important. Remember, appearance and enthusiasm are important. Your appearance should be professional, and you should show enthusiasm and motivation, because it's one of the key point in three main pillars, that is the technical skills, number 2 is the cultural fit, and number 3 is the motivation. So if you lack the motivation or enthusiasm, the chances of your hiring are very low. Now the appearance during the interview, your haircut should be proper, clean shave, warm smile, feel of confidence, formal dressing, firm handshake, correct body posture. And for females, should dress up according to their culture. Make a good first impression, appropriate clothing, good grooming, firm handshake, readiness to smile, eye contact, display of sound ideas. So these are important things to consider and remember. Your non-verbal behavior should broadcast more about you than the verbal content. So since I explained earlier that most of the time interviewer is also judging you from your non-verbal behavior, so if you are not so much care about your non-verbal behavior, you should care about it, that they may judge you from your non-verbal behavior, despite you have the skills, all the talents for the interview, and you are the perfect fit for the job. But if your non-verbal behavior is not appropriate, then they might not hire you. So be very cautious of your non-verbal behavior. So hope these guidelines will help you regarding your interview, and best of luck for your next job interview. Thank you very much.